Hey folks, how you doing? How you doing? Excuse me. This is Free America Radio Network. This is the Views Expressed Live. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. I am glad you are here. It's Friday. It is Friday. It was a pleasure earlier to be on LiveTruthRadio.com with Brian Lang, and hopefully those over there at LiveTruthRadio.com are listening to me, because
listen to Live Truth Radio.
That was Live Truth Radio. But anyway, sorry, I got something going on there. I want to bring you the truth with the facts. Now, let me preface it by saying this. I don't know everything, okay? Neither do you, so stop complaining, okay? I know what I know, I share what I know, it's there, and there you go. Now, here is something that y'all need to know, is that I've been researching shadow governments and you name it for well over 30 years. I've dug into a lot of stuff, and I can tell you that what you think is not real, yeah, you better think again, because it is. You know, everything that you think is not real is only because you don't want to accept it. You don't want to accept the truth. You don't want to accept the facts. You don't want to accept any of it. Because all you want is your beer and your ESPN and your reality shows and all of that. So, I'm here to rip that out of your hands, to tear you out of your easy chair, and to walk you outside and to show you what's going on. And if you don't like it, tough. It's the way it is. You want to see the corruption in your city, you better go down to your city council meetings. You want to see the corruption in your law enforcement, you better start paying attention as to what's going on. You want to see the corruption in Washington, D.C.? You know how a politician is lying? When he opens his mouth. Okay? Now, yeah, I do my fair share of bashing the federal government because they deserve it. Do you know why? Because they're corrupt. That's why. They are. Now, here's the other thing, though, that you have to pay attention to, is that they're going to lie to you and tell you that they're not lying. What? Seriously? This is something that I've known for quite some time. This is something that has been going on for years and years and years and years and years. I mean, seriously. I'm going to go to break here in a little bit, the obligatory break at the 5 after mark. Just to promo some stuff. But I want you to understand that I'm just showing you these things, and I hope that I encourage you to use, as Brian Lang said today, common sense. Please do that, because all you got to do is check this stuff out yourself. You're going to know that it's a lot worse off than what you thought, okay? So I'm going to go to break. You can email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. And if you're listening to me on livetruthradio.com, hello, drop on over to the Spreaker chat and go to Spreaker.com, search for Free America Radio Network, and join me in the chat. I'll be back right after this. Don't wait until another natural or man-made disaster strikes. Have at least 72 hours of emergency gear near you at all times, and that includes food. Get your emergency food supply today. Go to freeamericaradio.us and at the top of the page, click on the emergency food supply link. Help your family by purchasing as much emergency food supply as you need. You'll be helping out your family and Free America Radio Network. Thank you. Showing you who's behind the curtain, pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. Live from behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9. Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network. Hey folks, welcome. This is the Views Express live right here from the Free America Radio Network. Yes, freeamericaradio.us. Check it out. If you can contribute to help Free America Radio Network get to the next level, please do. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. We have got a lot to talk about today. And let me give a big old shout out to the one and only person up there in Lima, Ohio, Mr. Brian D. Lang over there at LiveTruthRadio.com. Hey folks, how are ya? He's broadcasting my show today. Thank you there. LiveTruthRadio.com. And all you folks, if you want to chat with me, I'm over in the Spreaker side of things. So you can go to Spreaker, that's Spreaker, and look up Free America Radio Network and join me in the chat. If you would, please. Thank you very much. So, Free America Radio on Facebook. And for anybody who was in the military, I put this up, and it's from activeheroes.org. To all who serve, thanks for walking the walk. I think we need a few of those people down at the southern border. What do you think? Oh, I wanted to talk about this because it's on the radar still. It's hanging out there somewhere. These people, I'm going to preface this next thing I'm going to say with this. These people arguing and protesting for the raise in minimum wage to $15 an hour. Hello, McDonald's just put in 7,000 kiosks. That means you and I can just walk up to this thing, pick what we want. In the back, they're still, putting it all together. And we pay for it, and we walk up, we get it, we go home. Or sit there, whatever we want. These people fighting for minimum wage or a raise in minimum wage to $15 an hour, they're going to lose their jobs. Okay? I know. You number crunchers out there, you know what I'm saying. If the economy in the area is not to the degree to which wages can be raised, it ain't happening. Okay, I'm just letting you know, it ain't happening. If the company's not making money, you ain't making money. You know what I'm saying? So, common sense. Thank you, Brian Lang. Here's what I want to read. Walmart 1% on Facebook. Since 1983, Walmart owners, the Waltons, have increased their wealth by 6,700%. Let me say that again. 6,700%, making them by far the richest family in America. Tell them they can afford to pay their workers $15 an hour and provide full-time work. There's a link there. It's called action.changewalmart.org/for the word FOR for 15, the number 15. That's action.changewalmart.org/ the word for, F-O-R, and the number 15. I believe, myself personally, that a company the size of Walmart can start out all of their people at $15 an hour. Yeah, but then, what if they got to work them part-time and no. They can start out all their employees at $15 an hour. Okay? Well, what if it's a high school student that just came out of high school that doesn't know how to work another? So? He's got to get through school somehow. And these McDonald's workers, these fast food joints that these people are arguing about, they need to make... Blah, blah, blah. I live in the biggest little city in the world. That's where I'm broadcasting from, behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9. And we got casinos here. I don't know about your area. But I can tell you right now that these casinos make gobs of freaking money. And they're paying their people minimum wage, which in Nevada is $8.25 an hour if the company does not offer any type of health care coverage or plan. And if they do, it's $7.55 an hour. Okay? So I wanted to get this segment out of the way and talk about minimum wage. We need to abolish it. It needs to go away. Abolish minimum wage. In some regions in the United States, the cost of living is either high or low or somewhere in the middle. How about a fair market living wage per region? It's not a minimum wage. It's a fair market wage contingent upon your skills in that particular field or career. Now, somebody's going to argue with me and say, what about high school students? That's where you use the fair market value of that person's skills. Okay? If you have to train them, I don't think it would kill the company at all to pay him $10 an hour. I really don't, depending on the region that he lives in. I really don't. But if he's dumber than a box of paper clips, as Pete Santilli likes to say of himself, what are you going to do? He's got to make money. He or she has to make money somehow, right? You don't want to know how I made money in high school. I'm a pretty good pool player. I'll just leave it at that. But fair market living wage per region. Oh, and let's put this in there. A flat tax across the board. I don't give a crap if you make $15,000 an hour or $1,000 a month. 15% across the board flat tax. Boom. That's it. Oh, did you know that there were hidden taxes in all the high-priced merchandise that you buy? Why not a consumption tax? Well, why not just a flat tax across the board? Now you hear, Mike Huckabee talk about a fair tax. You hear a lot of people talking about fair tax. Well, how about this? Let's go one step further for the citizens of the United States of America. How about no tax, no personal income tax whatsoever? No personal federal income tax whatsoever, period, end of sentence. How about that? And throughout all the states, it'll be 15% flat tax across the board. I mean, the states have to make money somehow. They can't have bake sales every month. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we've got fair market living wage. We've got a flat tax across the board. How's this? How's this? Let's find a way to, and I'm being nice. I'm controlling myself, and I'm being nice here, so you can throw stones at me later. How about taking these homeless people and these people on quote unquote welfare that just want to sit on their butt and do nothing? How about if we do this? You got some empty buildings in your city? Because we got a few here in Reno. How about doing this? How about taking those empty buildings, multi-story buildings, and opening them up to the homeless? Oh, wait a minute. Those homeless people have to agree to do something, whatever their skill level is, if they have one. I know people who were in construction and electrical engineering that are living out on the streets. Just the happenstance of society at the time. Okay? I know people have skills. Did you know that these people on the streets have skills? And you can, find out what they are. But you put these people in a building to keep them out of the streets, keep them warm, right? But you tell them, you give me 15 hours a week of your time, and you can stay here. How are you going to eat? We'll find a way to provide that. You got Meals on Wheels. You got the county people coming. You got all sorts of ways to eat. What about families? Well, multi-story apartment buildings that are empty. Why not? But they have to work. They have to do something. And in that case, with an apartment building, it would be more like 20 to 25 hours a week. Just do something. Volunteer your time. We'll write it down. If you want to get a little cash here and there, why not? Because that'll keep people off the streets, and that'll keep people safe, and that'll keep people warm, won't it? I'm just saying. That's a possibility. I've heard that. I heard that idea specifically when I was living in Stockton, California. I heard about that type of idea floating around back in the late 70s, early 80s. And I was amazed that nobody came, forward and did something like that. But see, this segues me into this next subject. The government doesn't want you to get better. Excuse me. The government does not want you to get better. They want you to live off of them. They want to be your sugar daddy. And that is the way it is. Now, a lot of people are going to throw stones at me later, and I know they are. They're going to send me email going, ah! They're going to yell at me and gripe and moan and groan. But there is a certain segment of our society that doesn't want to work. Do you know how much work goes into this show? Holy crap. Okay? I just don't get on here and spout my, opinions. No. I give you articles. I read you the articles sometimes. I give you, believe me, there's a lot of work in this. But when you look at a certain segment of our society, and you see these people that don't want to work, or they've fallen on hard times or whatever, common sense would tell you that these people probably have had a rough life. I'm talking about specifically the people on the streets, the people pushing the carts around, that kind of thing. Oh, I'm sure they may have some kind of income, but I don't know what. Now, what about those people who, well, sit around the house, who are off of the dole depending upon their loved ones? In other words, their family, their wife, their husband, whatever. And they just don't want to work. What about them? There's a certain segment of our society that says, hey, the government's making money. I want it. You give it to me and every benefit that I want. You don't think that's happening? Who do you think's coming across the border? People that, now I'm not saying they don't all want, I'm not saying that all of them don't want to work, because they do bust their, behinds. You can see this, but there's a certain segment of our society that doesn't want to work, nor do they care. They want the government to take care of them. I got news for them. Your gravy train is going to get derailed pretty damn soon. Okay? I read some stuff. I read some stuff somewhere, and I'll vet it and I'll look into it before I even post it. But yeah, you ain't gonna be happy. All them welfare mamas. Yeah, no, you're not gonna. No. You are going to come unfreaking glued. Okay. Now, this is not only in that segment of society. There are some people who work 30 to 40 hours a week. They're busting their hump trying to keep a roof over their head and food in their stomach and their family fed. Well, things are going to happen to them as well, and it's not going to be pretty. Now, where is all this leading, and where is the solution? Well, pretty darn simple if you use common sense where all this is headed. I said on Brian Lang's show today, the last 20 minutes or so, and he extended it a little bit, but I said that there's this, and I'll word it this way because it really has to be driven home. That you get to a point in this society where the rich, the super wealthy, the elites are going, look at those little ants down there. Look at those little slaves we have working in all our factories that we own. You've got that. But then you have you and I. When the rug is pulled out from underneath of us, what do we have to do at that point? Common sense tells you what's going to happen. Have you seen what happened in Tunisia and in Rome, in Italy, and in Egypt and all those areas? Have you seen what happened? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people out in the street protesting. Austerity. Go look that up. Startpage.com. Austerity. A-U, austerity. Yeah, you can look it up. It'll pop up there in the search engine. That is what the elites want, and here's why. See, I knew within this segment I was going to get to a point right before the bottom of the hour break. The super powerful elite and the people that run them, that own the corporations that run Washington, D.C., want austerity because it collapses the whole economy. The toilet paper in your bathroom is going to be worth a lot more than that dollar you got in your pocket. And they want to collapse the system and rebuild it in their image, which is a total and absolute dictatorship. Because they know that you and I think. You and I use common sense. You and I can see what's going on, and we have the ability to rip away the veil, and as I like to say, see who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. This is going to happen. And where are you going to be when it does? Are you going to be sitting in your... I'm going to borrow this from Brian Lang. Are you going to be sitting in your lazy boy? Or are you going to get your butt up and go do something about it? Now, you can also look back in history and see that a lot of people had that same mindset. For example, 1776. For another example, 1861. For another example, the Spanish-American War. All these things. Do you think that the citizens of the United States sat back going, you know what, I'll let someone else do it? No. Because them young'uns back then, the military came along and conscripted them. They drafted them into the army. I had 3 members of my family in the Union Army. Now, do you think they had the mindset, or even your family had the mindset of saying, well, I'll just sit here. I'll sit this one out. Call me when it's over. No. They had a backbone. They had some intestinal fortitude and said, hey, wait a minute. Somebody's trying to do what to our country? Somebody's trying to do what to our county? Wait. No, not going to happen in my backyard, Junior. And they stood up and they fought for it. What are you doing? What is your plan when all hell breaks loose? What is your plan when you get up in the morning to go to work someday and you see militarized law enforcement out with their MRAPs and all their military gear? What are you going to do? By the way, there was a town that tried to send back their military gear to the Pentagon, and the Pentagon wouldn't accept it back. What are you going to do when you see that stuff? Row. Hey, Reggie. Yeah. Uh-oh is right. And for those that are listening that want to bash Brian Lang and myself and anybody else that, tells the truth like it is, you know what? You're going to have that uh-oh moment, and then you're going to realize we're right. Okay? I'm just saying. The bottom of the hour break is coming up, folks. Take a few minutes out. Give my voice a rest. I got something going on. I don't know what it is. It's probably that damn acid reflux. Anyway, enough of my tribulations. You guys just sit back, relax. I'll be back in 2 minutes and 23 seconds. You're listening to the views expressed right here on the Free America Radio Network. The world as we know it is changing. We must speak out against the tyranny in our country. Stand up. Speak out. Get involved. Live Truth Radio. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com. The Wayne S. Pierce Show on the Free America Radio Network. Go to thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com for more information. And catch The Wayne S. Pierce Show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12 noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on the Free America Radio Network.
Time to take our republic back, folks. Brian Bonner, the Uncooperative Radio Show host, will tell you how. Join us for the ride of your life. Using humor and the facts, we will expose the news that the mainstream media refuses to report. The Constitution is the solution, and we can prove it. Listen in and find out what it means to be an uncooperative citizen of these United States. You can find our show at uncooperativerradio.com, and we are rebroadcast on redstatetalkradio.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order, because the global order is changing again. And the institutions and the rules that worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened. And some have to be changed. So we have to do what we do best. We have to lead. We have to lead.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
You're listening to the Free America Radio Network. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety. Benjamin Franklin. From the Free America Radio Network, from behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9, this is The Views Expressed Live. Yes, it is, right here. This is The Views Expressed Live in the Free America Radio Network for the 3rd of October, 2014. Can you, man, it's October already? Jeez, man. Hey, I'm over in the LiveTruthRadio.com chat room. You can reach it by going to LiveTruthRadio.com, click on Listen Live, and click the very first link for the chat room. And I'm in there, so I'm over there. So I may have to shut down that tab because, yeah, I got some memory situation going on over here on Spreaker.com. It shows me all sorts of technical aspects of what's going on. And so let me encourage you to go to Spreaker.com, go to Free America Radio Network, pop in the chat room there. And if you want to chat with me, awesome. And because I don't want my browser to fail like it did one time before over at Live Truth Radio. So come on over, Spreaker.com, look up Free America Radio Network, pop in the chat room, let me know you're there. So everyone over at LiveTruthRadio.com, I'm still on, I'm just not in your chat room. Talk to you in a bit. But anyway, two things I want to bring to your attention. Two very basic things. Got to use your common sense for this because, well, They're simple. Okay? First of all, when you went to high school and you learned everything about the history class, about history through your class, and of course, elementary school, junior high, you read all those books about what happened in history, right? Yeah. Tell me again how truthful those are. Secondly, when you got out into the quote-unquote real world and you saw what was going on, did it surprise you that your school lied through their teeth? Didn't with me. I was studying this stuff in high school. I got to tell you, man. It was worse than I thought. Okay. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook, if you would, please. And here's something that Brian Lang and myself and a few other people, I don't know if Brian talked about this at all on his shows, but you ever heard of the fairness doctrine? You ever heard about that? Quote, "It is the purpose of the First Amendment to preserve an uninhibited marketplace of ideas in which truth will ultimately prevail, rather than to countenance monopolization of that market, whether it be by the government itself or a private licensee. It is the right of the people to receive suitable access to social, political, aesthetic, moral, and other ideas and experiences, which is crucial here. That right may not constitutionally be abridged either by Congress or by the FCC." Unquote. There's a link there to uspolitics.about.com for the fairness doctrine. Basically, the liberals, the libtards, whatever you want to call them, they have conservative talk radio or any type of talk radio like myself or Brian Lang or any number of people. They want to shut us down. Period. They don't want any opposition to their socialist, Marxist, fascist, programs. They don't. Their socialist, Marxist, fascist, communist programs are on the systems on the radio and PR, places like that, also MSNBC, CNBC, whatever. They're on there to do one thing and one thing only: monopolize the narrative. Okay? They want you to only see one thing, what they want you to see. And Brian Lang has a great moniker, a tagline for his show: the reality underneath the honesty. And the facts are the facts. They're in your face, and I don't want to hear anybody tell me, you got your facts, I got mine. No, you don't. We're both looking at the same thing. How can your facts be any different than mine? How can your facts be any more right or accurate than mine when they're both the same thing? So this fairness doctrine is out there being pushed again this year to do one thing and one thing only: to totally eliminate conservative talk radio, people like Len Beck, Rush Limbaugh, all those folks, even Alex Jones, and people like myself and Brian Lang, Nick Tucker, and folks like that. They want to shut us down. Okay? We can't allow that to happen. And there's this document that we stand on that tells the FCC pardon my French, but kiss my ass. It's called the First Amendment. Hey, FCC, NSA, CIA, don't like the fact that I stand on the Constitution of the United States for America? Tough. Your time is drawing near. And your services are going to be no longer needed. I can almost guarantee that. So we look at the FCC, which has been pretty much running roughshod over everything that we do. We look at the FCC and how they've just totally trashed the reasons why they were ever put together. They started out from the FRC. But look at where their overreach is so bad. And they are such a corrupt department in Washington, D.C. that I wonder how anything gets on TV or on the radio. Have you seen Family Guy? Have you seen American Dad? I don't get it. That leads me into talking about, in this segment of this hour, the First Amendment. We have a First Amendment, and I'm sure in Lima, Ohio, and I know here, we have some areas where there are quote-unquote free speech zones or free speech areas. Well, I'd like to know the moron that set that up. I'd like to talk to the city manager who promoted the guy with the pencil in his hand to go out and put those signs up. I'd like to find the guy who promoted the guy with his little nerdy glasses on to walk out there and just do his job. Because, by the way, the First Amendment covers the whole entire United States of America. Not just one little tiny section of your, a downtown area, or in the case of Bundy Ranch, a little corral somewhere where all the press can go and just hang out. No. This leads me to the stories we hear about. I think it was last year, year before last, a couple of Mexican kids in a school in California were told to turn their shirt inside out because it had the American flag on there, and the school didn't. They thought it was going to offend someone. Just recently, I don't know if I have it on the Free America Radio Facebook page, but a person. Oh, I don't. Darn it. I don't have it. A high school student, you guys may want to go look for this. A high school student was asked by the school to tone down his speech or his whatever it was in a conference they were having or some kind of school thing they were doing, and because he was talking about God, and the school wanted him to tone it down. Because the school didn't want to offend anyone. Excuse me. Let me tell you something. School districts around the country. Number one, Common Core sucks. Number two, we have a First Amendment, and we're going to say whatever it is we want to say, and we don't care. We have a First Amendment to protect our speech. Got it? And if you can't handle that, school districts, then the parents of these students in the high schools, junior highs, these kids are going to get homeschooled. Got it? You want money in your school district? You better shut the hell up and do exactly what the parents tell you to do. Got it? Because I am pissed that our government is standing over us in such a way to where they're telling us what we can do and can't do. That's not the role of Washington, D.C. By the way, we have 3 branches of government, not only in each state, but also in Washington, D.C., and only one has become dominant in the last 6 years or so. And our founding fathers said that that would happen. That they didn't want that to happen. They argued about that, and that is why we have 3 branches of government. No one person is ever going to oversee the whole thing. They asked George Washington if he wanted to be king. He goes, no. But now we have one department, the executive department, the executive branch overseeing all of this, and they're telling us what to do, what we can do, what we can't do. They're telling your kids, your grandkids, you gotta go through Common Core, because that's what it is now. No, Common Core sucks. Oh, you can't wear that T-shirt with that emblem on there. Oh, look, it has 2 guns on the emblem. We don't want to upset people. By the way, those guns are illegal. What? It's a drawing, numbnuts. You got an American flag on your shirt. Turn it inside out, because you might offend someone, and we don't want any problems in this school. What? Do you see the insanity, folks? Excuse me? We are now a police state. We are very, 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 very close to becoming a dictatorship. Talk about insanity. The people that started these dictatorships many years ago, including the Roman Empire, the Egyptian Empire, the British Empire, the German Empire under Hitler, and all these other ones. These are the same people that started that want it here in the U.S. And guess what? It's insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results. It's not going to happen. Okay? I find it odd that people cannot accept the truth. I also find it odd that people cannot understand that they can at least, if they have any common sense whatsoever, they can at least go out and check this stuff out themselves. But here's the problem. They don't want to. They don't. They don't care. They don't want to. They don't. Whatever. Until 1913, we kept all our earnings. Despite this, we still had schools, colleges, roads, vast railroads, subways, the Army, Navy, Marines, who managed to win 8 wars. 8 wars. So tell me again why we, the people, need to be extorted. Thank you, President Woodrow Wilson, for signing in the Federal Reserve Act and the Internal Revenue Act behind closed doors without the approval of Congress in 1913. By the way, that all came about by, and I think Brian Lang knows this too, that all came about in 1910, 1911 at this little place called Jekyll Island. Go read the book Creature of Jekyll Island. You'll find out how the Federal Reserve started. You'll find out how it is manipulating everything in the world. Because did you know that even our treasury that prints money for other countries? Did you know that? You didn't know that, did you? If you did, yay. If you didn't, I just shared something new with you that you didn't know. Now, Free America Radio on Facebook, the minority blog, minorityreportblog.com, excuse me. The AstroTurf attempt to destroy Rush Limbaugh exposed. This is by Warner Todd Houston over there at the minorityreportblog.com. This is not a surprise, of course. What is interesting is how small a group of liberal progressives are involved in the plot and how well funded they are via George Soros money. Quote, an attempt to destroy Rush Limbaugh through the intimidation of his advertisers has been exposed as a work of a small handful of activists, at least one of whom works with the George Soros-funded AstroTurf outfit Media Matters for America. The effort to destroy Rush Limbaugh, dubbed Stop Rush, was started in 2012 by Angelo Curasoni, the vice president of the Soros-funded Media Matters website. Curasone intended the effort to be an adjunct to President Obama's re-election campaign. The Stop Rush campaign is presented in Limbaugh's advertisers. The Stop Rush campaign is presented to Limbaugh's advertisers as an army of regular Americans incensed by Limbaugh's purported quote-unquote racist, he never was, on-air comments. The grassroots army is then purportedly enlisted in frighten advertisers on Limbaugh's radio show to dumping their sponsorship, unquote. Quote, but far from being an army of regular Americans joined together for a cause, an investigation into the group has shown that it is really just an effort of 10 people joining paid media AstroTurfer Corazon is a Kent State University professor and several women who seem intertwined with each other. Further proof that the Twitter efforts of the small group of paid ultra-left-wing activists is more artifice than grassroots is the fact that engine of their campaign is built on a high-volume Twitter application that makes their efforts seem larger than they are. It is also an application that violates Twitter's user agreement. There's more to the story. You can just click the link at the bottom of what I just read. Here's the thing, folks. It's real simple to figure out. When you stand up for truth, for the reality underneath the honesty, when you stand up for the facts, when you stand up for what you know is right in your heart, and you live that way, guaranteed you're going to piss somebody off. When you start talking about how the government is corrupt, you start and you share the facts of that, and you start denying and not accepting the official story of 9/11 or Benghazi or Michael Strange, or any number of those things, when you start revealing the truth behind all of that, you're going to piss somebody off. Okay? It's real simple. But don't let it discourage you, folks, because guess what? You are amongst people in a bomber. You have the navigator, you have the pilots, you have the ordnance person, you have the person that pushes the button that drops the bomb. Talking intellectually, figuratively, metaphorically, so don't get your knickers in a knot, all right? But when you're over the target and you're hitting all these points and you're proving everything that you say, you're going to piss somebody off. This is why they come after people like Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, Michael Savage, Mark Levin, even Nick Tucker, myself, Brian Lang, Bob Brutus. They come after us. Why? Because we got the truth and they hate it. They're in their dark little room in front of, really dark, in front of their computer screen that has the light shining in their face, and they're drooling and they're eating their ding-dongs and their ho-hos and all that. And they're sitting there and they're going, I'm going to get this person because I don't like them, yeah! And they're just flailing away on the keyboard trying to get these people taken down and all this, right? And we're standing back going, you are an idiot. These people have absolutely no clue just how powerful the truth truly is. This is why they want to vehemently push for the fairness doctrine, because these Marxist, fascist, communist, socialists on both sides of the aisle want to change the narrative and want to monopolize the narrative to their own agenda, period. You don't like it? There's the door. Bye. Have a nice day. And if some of you liberals out there who say, well, I'm in the middle, I'm neither conservative or truly liberal, and I kind of like both ideas of both part of blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm sorry if you haven't gotten the clue yet, but, school's out, the bell is rung, go home. You people in the middle. Actually, no. Sit tight. Sit right down right there, and I will show you the facts. I will show you the truth. I will give you the answers. I don't have to, but I will. I don't give people the silver platter answer to anything. I give them key elements. I give them little premises. I show them a map with the big red letters that say you are here, and I say, where do you want to go? There's the map. Plan it out. Figure it out. Because I ain't showing you. You want to go, you're in Lima, Ohio, you want to go to New York? If you can jump on I-5 and go that way, or Highway 80, excuse me, you hit Highway 80 and go straight into New York City. That's a gimme, But I don't give anybody the silver platter answer to anything. I show them. Here's the documents. Here's the websites. Here's the information I found before I had the internet. You go look it up. Because I'm done. I got another hour to the show, folks, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, even if you disagree with me, I would like to hear from you. freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Give a big shout out to the one and only Mr. Brian Lang over there in Lima, Ohio with livetruthradio.com. Yes, go check it out. He's there every day, 12 noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. 3-hour show revealing to you the truth underneath. The truth. Now, get that word. The truth of the reality underneath the honesty. Okay? Think about that one for a minute, and I'll go to break, and I'll come back. And top of the hour break. Yeah. Okay. freeamericaradio.us, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Catch up on the latest news and controversy and more on The Spencer Hughes Show on Spreaker.com and SpencerHughes.net. With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on radiofreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm.
Lock it on to the best station on the net.
The Free America Radio Network. Are you a filmmaker and want to make your epic feature film with no money, some money, and or all the money in the world? Listen to Christopher J. Taylor as he discusses everything you need to know about filmmaking and more on Film 101 on HTLA973.com. You're listening to the views expressed right here on the Free America Radio Network.
Samo Radio, playing music for free so you can listen longer. Samo.
It's the 5 o'clock drive with Samo.
Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hey there, I'm Big Tiny. I'm the host of Big Tiny's Oldies and More. And we're playing music that you just love to hear from the 50s to the 90s. So check us out Monday through Friday and see what we're playing right here on Spreaker.com.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor? Do you want to hone your abilities? Please send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. We are currently looking for voice actors to fill certain character roles in an ongoing radio play in development. Please send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. For all you independent artists, musicians, and filmmakers, there is a place for you. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey, folks, this is the Free America Radio Network. This is the Views Express Live, and we are also being broadcast over on LiveTruthRadio.com. Thank you, Mr. Brian Lang. You're awesome. I was on his show earlier today, so if you check the archives, check it out, man. But anyway, yes, thank you, Brian. Appreciate that very much. Right here for the 3rd of October, 2014. Oh, my God. Revealing to you who's behind the curtain, pushing the buttons and pulling the handles, sharing with you the truth, one fact at a time. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Check it out if you would, please. Something just went really freaky with my Facebook page. Isn't that just lovely? Holy mackerel. Yeah. There we go. Okay. It's working now. Oh, this is... I didn't get this to... get to this, if I can speak correctly, in the first hour, but there's a video on Free America Radio on Facebook. David Cameron, you know, the Prime Minister of England, you know, that boy, New World Order, you know him. David Cameron, in UN speech, says anyone questioning the 9/11 official story is a terror extremist. Yeah, that's David Cameron, folks. That's, yeah. People over in England, if anybody listens to Live Truth Radio or the Views Expressed over in where my ancestors came from, David Cameron is an idiot. Why don't you guys go out in your streets down on, near, that big old house that the Queen can't afford and go and protest in front of her, okay? Naturalnews.com, mercury spectrum disorder. Oh, is that a new one? I don't think so. Naturalnews.com, mercury spectrum disorder, neuron null, there we go, cell damage for life from vaccines. Talked about vaccines on Brian Lang's show, Live Truth Radio, over at livetruthradio.com. We talked a little bit, we touched on it. We didn't talk about it, we touched on it. And here it is from naturalnews.com. SD Wells over there contributed this story. Go check out naturalnews.com. The editor over there is Mike Adams, the health ranger. Check him out. Hey, Brian, if you're listening, you might want to have him on the show for a segment, especially with what's going on now. More vaccines and earlier in life. This is what the USA and the CDC do to babies, and this is why we have a higher infant mortality rate, thanks to disease, than 43 of the other modern countries of the world. Oops. The CDC won't even admit it, even after their own inside whistleblowing scientists confessed and showed how they skewed research, which reveals that mercury in vaccines causes autism rates to skyrocket, especially in African American boys given the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, combo vaccine before 3 years of age. Oh, shall I go on? Are you worried about terrorists? What if terrorists were running up to children in the streets and injecting them with mercury? What if terrorists were sneaking into hospitals and using needles to inject highly toxic poison into babies so they could never develop into self-sufficient adults? Would that be deemed bioterrorism, or how would the U.S. government and the CDC react? Would CNN cover the news? Quick, set up emergency FEMA quarantines at a football stadium across America. Force vaccinate the masses and feed them GMO food until the pandemic passes and the terrorists are all sent back overseas. Yeah. For 10 years, the CDC has been injecting autism into babies. Guess what? The CDC has known for 10 years that the toxins in vaccines, including thimerosal, led to an increase in mortality rates for babies, and autism spectrum disorders are now commonplace, especially among African American boys who get the MMR combo jab before the age of 3. This is genocide and eugenics. This is like Nazi Germany, and now that alternative news has blown the cover story wide open, the mass media is scrambling to cover it up, bury it, and continue with its bombardment of food, medicine, and personal care products that cause cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and anything else that funds the big pharma industrial complex, now known as Obamacare. This is the law, but shouldn't these quote-unquote mad scientists be convicted of altering research that has endangered and killed innocent humans? Where are the checks and balances of this great country? Didn't the Nazi scientists hide information from the public so Hitler could be the psychopath that he was? Of course they did. And they brought it over here, folks. Margaret Sanger, eugenics. Go look it up. Continuing, and they were convicted of mass murder. So quickly and easily do we forget what happened to 6 million people just 75 years ago. By the way, to calm the nerves and anxieties of those prisoners, they put fluoride in the water. Okay? Go look it up. You don't believe me? There it is. It's in history. Keep digging. You'll find it. Is your child suffering from mercury spectrum disorder? Will forced vaccinations follow? Will Ebola, bird flu, and swine flu vaccines be forced on the American quote-unquote quarantined masses soon? Are you too sick to work or pay your rent? FEMA is ready for you, and so is the DHS. Can you afford the bills that come from taking care of an autistic child for your whole life, thanks to the CDC? Maybe you should sue them and be compensated by MSD autism now that they have proven guilty of corroborating on burying evidence that mercury, thimerosal, in vaccines cause autism. You should learn more on this now, as Ethan Huff reported for Natural News. Quote, this is evident in the dismal infant mortality rate of U.S.-born children who fare the worst among virtually all industrialized countries. And as the CDC has continued to add more vaccines to the official vaccine schedule, as well as pushed these vaccines at an increasingly early age, the autism rate has skyrocketed in response. The CDC is not being very honest with the American public about what might be causing the epidemic of autism in the United States, unquote, he said. Quote, we have the highest rate and the earliest vaccines given in the world, and yet on the infant mortality list, we're at the very top. Our children die at a higher rate of disease than any other country of 43 modern countries, unquote. Want natural immunity from all this chaos? Check out the medicinal mushrooms, oil of oregano, and marine plankton, phytoplankton. Protect yourself and your babies. After all, they don't call it ancient medicine for nothing. That kind of shoots you in the foot, doesn't it? All these pro-vaccination. Yes, I give my kids vaccination every year. Uh-huh. You go ahead and keep shooting those kids up. They get anywhere between, I think it's 10 or 14 shots before they're a year old. How's your kids? How are your kids doing? Did they have this habit in school to be doing their work and then just get up to go sharpen their pencil 5 times in a row? Just kind of get up and walk around a room. They now call that ADHD. attention deficit hypertensive, or what is it? Hyperactive disorder, or ADD. Oh, by the way, former members of the American Psychiatric Association, and this information comes out of cchr.org, but you can also look for it other places as well. Former members of the American Psychiatric Association has said that the DSM-4 and the DSM-5, the new one that just came out, is bullcrap. Every single symptom, every single diagnosis, every single title of every single problem your kid has is in there, and it's all made up. Phony, fraud, fake, period. Now, as a mom and dad, you'll probably sit there going, oh, I don't believe that. Really? By the time your child was 3 years old, did they have somewhere in the vicinity of about 30 shots or something like that? I guess I'm overestimating that one. Did they? Did they wind up being like, really cool? Hey, hi, Mom, hi, Dad. They were like 3 or 4 of us, 7, 8, 9, trying to get into school. You know how you got to give the shots before you go to school. Were they, hey, and they were really cool kids, right? And then after you give them a shot, a few days later, they're like, oh, no, what? Oh. Were they like that? They're not all like that, but were they like that? There you go. There you go. It's on Free America Radio right there. Mercury spectrum disorder, neuronal cell damage for life from vaccines. There you go. And Mike Adams should know. Okay. So think about that, though. Just think about that for a minute. For every, and I'm going to go into this before the bottom of the hour. I was going to talk about it about the end of the show, but I'll talk about it now. Think about this. You see this advertisement on TV about this antidepressant, right? Shows this person taking this and they're like, hey, I'm fine, whatever, right? But have you noticed, even watching that on TV and listening to it online or on a radio show somewhere, have you noticed the side effects? Have you noticed them mentioning the side effects? For every one thing that pill does to help out that person, there's 10 to 12 different side effects that is going to kill that person. What in the hell is up? Why do you think they call it the big pharma industrial complex? I got 2 words for you. Cha-ching. Money. The psychiatrists are the only ones in the industry that are able to prescribe drugs. Psychologists can't. Don't know why, but they can't. They refer to the psychiatrist. But here's all this going on behind your back without even you knowing. And even if you've gone to counseling, you know what I'm talking about, right? Except in California, if you go to counseling, you're deemed mentally ill and you can't have a gun. That's California. That's communism right there. That's fascism. That's socialism. Not even socialism. That's just Marxism right there. Take the guns out of the hands of the slaves. That's basically what their motto is. But the drugs are killing you. So is the vaccines. Gardasil is another one. If you have a teenage daughter and the school nurse, says, hey, come on in, and doesn't even talk to you. This has happened in Southern California and other places as well, where the nurse in the school would come and get your daughter and either take her to the abortion clinic or take them into the office and give them a shot of Gardasil. By the way, that will kill you. Okay, it's been blown out of the water. It's bad, okay? I don't want to hear anybody tell me at all, ever, unless you got information backing it up that says, well, those shots, those vaccines will work. You just, those pills will work. They're just... Yeah, really? Folks, let me give you a little background on who I am, okay? I come from the entertainment industry, okay? That's where I come from. I'm a stage actor, okay? Do you know? Do you have any clue how many people, how many actors, how many actresses, or even the crew, do you know how many people could, in just one day, be classified with ADD, ADHD, and mentally ill? I mean, can you imagine just for a moment? You're putting a show together. You take 6 to 8 weeks to do it. You got 3 to 4 hours a night, 4 or 5 nights a week for rehearsals. Opening night comes. Yes, you do that. You get that done. You got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 performances a week. You do that for 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Guess what, folks? You're about ready to go into Funny Farm yourself because you're just like, okay. Not me, though. Why? Because I love it. I also do voiceovers, and I do different characters. So try grabbing those characters out of your own head and acting them out. Yeah, people would look at me and say, that guy's crazy. No, I'm not. I'm an entertainer. That's what I do. That's my background. I got into this because I got sick and tired of people, I can give you a whole Illuminati thing about that too. But seriously, I'm telling you, it is not right what our government is doing to us. They're driving us like cattle. And they're prodding us in that little narrow space. Keep going, keep going, keep going. To get us into the truck. And where do you think they're taking us? We've got the CDC coming out, a whistleblower came out just recently, maybe today or yesterday, that said that the diseases that these illnesses, I shouldn't say diseases, these illnesses that these immigrants had that when they came over the border, they got them, folks. They're here. They're all over the place. I think Brian Lang there at Live Truth Radio can verify that there have been people coming from the border up into Ohio. I got family in Columbus. Okay. And I think I have family in Cleveland. But I think he can verify that. But when you see these things, when you understand these things and what the government is doing against you, don't you think it's time to open up your freaking eyes? Don't you think it's time to put down your damn beer and get out of your damn lazy boy and get out into the damn streets and start protesting this crap? While I was on Live Truth Radio earlier with Brian Lang, Susie Q was on there and she was talking about chemtrails. Guess what, folks? They're real. The patents for the machines and for the equipment that goes in those planes to put those chemtrails in the air is out there on record. Oh, they're just contrails, Wayne. What are you getting all excited about? Contrails disappear. Watch a jet. When they go up and you see them, and you see that little white thing going out of the back, and then it starts slowly dissipating and disappearing, that's a contrail. Chemtrails come out of the back of the planes, out of the sprayers, and they stay there. They don't disperse. And then they get whiter. They start, they disperse in that way. They just hang there, and then they do. I've got pictures of chemtrails. I've got pictures of planes making chemtrails. And if you don't think it's real, folks, you're not paying attention. Pay attention, boy. In California, on Mount Shasta, several years ago, this was like 2010 or something like that, a couple of scientists went up there because they were in, I think it was for the film, What Are They Spraying? I think that's what it was, or something of that nature. I guess it's in that film. I haven't seen them. But they were saying, they were being interviewed on a program, and I was listening to it, and they said that up on Mount Shasta in California, Northern California, there's supposed to be a certain range of chemicals that are in the ground itself. They have a certain range because they know, stuff, barium, aluminum, that kind of thing, There's certain safe ranges, right? They know this. But they went up to Mount Shasta, up, near the base, and then they went up all the way to the top, or close to the top. And they found from, if I remember correctly, from the base of the mountain to wherever they stopped on the mountain itself, on Mount Shasta, they found chemicals, all right, from chemtrails that were being sprayed in the area that were 61% more than what was safe that was already on the ground. Okay? Now, I bet if you went out, and you're not a scientist, but if you went out and had, somebody who was pretty knowledgeable about this kind of stuff with you, and you checked it out yourself, I can almost bet that you're going to find some very dangerous levels after they start spraying the chemtrails all over the place. Oh. You got chemtrails. And then you have this big, massive thing which they said they shut down called HAARP. Yeah. Remember that? There's like 4 of them all over the world. They just like to talk about the one in Alaska. But they didn't shut it down. Jesse Ventura exposed them. A lot of other people exposed them. So they had to change the way they did things. They had to change the way they did things. So, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that very much. Give you a virtual high five. I said over on Mount Shasta, it was 61 times. No. 61,000 times the healthy limits that are there. 61,000 times. Sorry, forgot the zeros. So thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. But here we are, folks. We're getting bombarded with chemtrails, with nanoparticles, with, and not the good ones. We're getting bombarded with EMF from smart meters that are exploding here in Reno. We had 7 fires already caused by smart meters. We have that going on. We have a bunch of stuff happening, and you're sitting in your lazy boy, drinking your beer, watching your ESPN. What the hell is wrong with you, Bubba? And I'm not making fun of people in the South. I'm just using that as it's a word. Get over it. I'm not like Nancy Pelosi. My favorite word is the word. You're an idiot. Hey, I'm going to go to the bottom of the hour break. Thank you again, Brian. Appreciate that very much. I wanted to get the right information to you, so it was 61,000 times more than healthy limits. Okay, so, hey, going to break. FreeAmericaRadio.us, FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order, because the global order is changing again. And the institutions and the rule that worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened, and some have to be changed. So we have to do what we do best. We have to lead. We have to lead.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
From behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9, in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, you're listening to The Views Express Live. Hey folks, welcome back. This is The Views Express Live right here on the Free America Radio Network. You can go to my website. Please donate if you'd like. I really need the help to get this network to the next level. Yes, you can be a part of that if you would like to be. You can sponsor the show. Go to the sponsors page. It's not going to kill your advertising budget, because I keep it as reasonable as I possibly can. You can also donate. I do take PayPal and Bitcoin. Let's vet some Bitcoin, shall we? Let's find out what that's really all about. Also, get your emergency food supply today, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. What's going to happen? Lights go out. Earthquake, flood, whatever, if you're in a position to where you can grab your bag and go, and grab your extra food and grab your extra, medical supplies and grab your extra ammo and your weapons, and you got to run like hell to the hills, get your emergency food supply today. Go to freeamericaradio.us. Go to the top of the page, hit emergency food supply, get that. I've also got another link to another outlet as well. Please get your emergency food supply today. Hey, Susie Q, if you're listening to me over there on the other livetruthradio.com chat room, thank you for the information and really appreciate you and your information a lot. And I think, Brian, you were talking about nano silver. I think it was. Yeah, colloidal silver. I was trying to find a word earlier on your show, and I couldn't find it. It was colloidal silver. Okay? That does work. And what I'd like to do is I'd like for you to investigate all of that, you folks out there listening to me. That's just snake oil salesman. Really? Let's see. How come some of the Chinese people from years ago lived to be about 120-something years old? Why do you hear stories of people in Egypt or in biblical times living well over 100 years old and looking like they're 50? Because the stuff works, folks. That's all those esoteric and all those people out there. And, I'm not in the best of health. I don't... Exercise? Give me a gym. I'll go. That's what I used to do. But I'm just not in the best of health. My knees are shot, or one of them anyway, is shot. I'm just... Sucks getting old, okay? I'm just telling you. No. Hey, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm 52. Okay? But I hurt sometimes. It's because I don't get enough exercise. I don't get the right stuff in my body to make it work the way it is supposed to work. Okay? And all these drugs that are out there, all these, you got to get the powder form of the stuff, and you got to make sure it's not GMO, okay? You just make sure it's not GMO. And you get the right amount of stuff. You get the right amount of, what you need. And you exercise. I don't care if you go walk around the block 2 or 3 times. You exercise. It's good for you. We got a park over here, not, not a half mile away from us here, 1/4 mile away. It's got 4 little ponds, 4 little lakes in it. And I walk around that thing every once in a while. But I got to do more because I'm yeah, me? In shape? No. So I got to get back into the routine. I got to get back into my regimen. I got to get back into working, doing that to get my body back into good shape because, it's not. And, by the way, folks, if you're into it, meditation does work as well. Trust me. It does. I'm just so blown away when I learned about it 36 years ago. Oh, my God. It's just, yeah, And then you can also, I don't want to philosophize here, but you can look at pictures of the Earth, and you can see videos of where the camera's pulling away from the Earth, and you can see the rest of the galaxy, and then you can see the rest of the universe, and you're down here going, who's going to win Dancing with the Stars? Why is that country blowing that other country up? What the hell's going on? We're tiny, folks. We are just minute little bugs of the universe. You know what I'm saying? So why is that problem so big? One word. Ego. E-G-O. Ego. Big, massive problem there. Then we have the superego. Go check it out. I studied psychology. Superego. Then we have the id. Right? Yeah. Go check it out. You'll find out why we have so many damn problems. Yeah. It's incredible, folks. I mean, when you look at yourself from the vastness of the universe, you're thinking, and my problem is big Y? Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. You'll scroll on down and see UN Ebola chief raises prospect virus could mutate and become airborne. Yeah, this is a very, very, very dangerous thing, okay? We have to be concerned with it. dailymail.co.uk. The link is there on Free America Radio on Facebook. Doomsday warning, UN Ebola chief raises nightmare prospect that virus could mutate and become airborne, making it much more infectious. This is true. The longer the Ebola epidemic continues infecting people unabated, in other words, you can't stop it, the higher the chances it will mutate and become airborne. The UN's Ebola response chief has warned. Anthony Banbury, the Secretary General's special representative, he has said there is a nightmare prospect The deadly disease will become airborne if it continues infecting new hosts. His comments come as organizations battling the crisis in West Africa warn the international community has just 4 weeks to stop its spread before it spirals completely out of control. And the British nurse who survived the disease said the horror and misery of watching young children die from the disease must be avoided at all costs. A couple of stories here. First of all, I'm not scaring you at all. I'm just sharing with you the information to make you aware of what the UN has said. Are they making it, or is the state-run media making it bigger than what it truly is? Or is it just propaganda that they're trying to instill fear into us? It's a good question, isn't it? Another story I heard yesterday on the Glenn Beck show about he was talking to Franklin Graham, Billy Graham's son, and they were going to go over there. They had a doctor, one of his Samaritan Purse doctors, contracted Ebola. Apparently, they got there, they were trying to get this thing out of San Diego, this stuff, this I don't know what it was, this medicine or whatever, and it came in 3 bags, those bags that hang in the hospitals, the IVs, came in those. They had to freeze it down below 200 degrees Fahrenheit, below 200. Okay, follow me so far? One of the doctors over there, the doctor that Franklin Graham knew, that was working with him, was on, as Glenn Beck says, death's door. They injected this stuff into this person, into this doctor, and within a matter of minutes, the guy was up going to the bathroom by himself. Within minutes. You can go to, I believe you can go to glennbeck.com and get the radio. It's like the video of the radio show. And I think he talks about that. But if it cured this doctor, and if it cured this or something else, cured the nurse, then what are they doing? Let me tell you what they're doing. Okay? Let me tell you what they're doing. They, correct me if I'm wrong, but the head of the CDC, Center for Disease Control, is a military official. Now, you tell me why they're not letting loose of all these things that could cure practically everybody from everything. You tell me. Again, 2 words. Cha-ching. Also 2 other words. Military contracts. Okay? It's all about the money, folks. It's all about the research dollars. It's all about how can we research this stuff and make it a bioweapon. By the way, and I got to go over to I've got to download the Pete Santilli show for today over at Guerrilla Media Network or on Spreaker.com as well. And he had a clip of a State Department official being asked questions about Ebola back in July. And this State Department, now you got to be pretty intelligent to be part of the State Department, right? I mean, a pretty wordsmith. You got to know what the hell you're talking about. And if you make a mistake in the public when you're talking to the press, you immediately correct it, right? You okay? Follow me? This woman from the State Department said 2 words in her response to being asked questions by this one reporter. She said, Ebola attack. Now, you don't know. Now, if you're a wordsmith and you understand that you're in the public and you understand that your words can be taken out of context, you'd immediately change your tone and try to, try to remedy the situation. No, I heard it. He played it. Go to Guerrilla Media Network. or Spreaker.com. Look for The Pete Santilli Show, and you'll hear it. I forget what, I think it was in the third hour of his show. But yeah, you'll hear it. Ebola attack. Can you say bioweapon? Can you say cha-ching? Can you say military-industrial complex? Yay! You got an A for the class today, folks. There's another one. Oh, by the way, let me promote one more show that I have on Free America Radio Network on the Views Express Live site as well. Show is called The Chris Ann Hall Show. Liberty's Lobbyist. Go to chrisannhall.com. That's KRISANNE Hall, HALL.com. Check it out. Or just go to Free America Radio on Facebook, scroll on down, and you'll see the Chris Ann Hall Show for the 2nd of October, 2014. I had to upload today's show. Anyway. So what do we do, folks? Vitamin C, colloidal silver, B12. I mean, not just 300 or 400 milligrams. No, we're talking thousands. Because your body has to be immune from all this stuff. Okay? And the other thing is positive thoughts, prayers, however you do that to the people who are infected and their families. So, thank you. In the last few minutes of this show. And it's Friday, folks. I hope you're going to have a great weekend. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, and even if you disagree with me, please send me some email and some facts to back up what you say to freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. And I'd like to hear from you. I really would. Put in the subject line radio so I know you heard me. Really. So yeah, I mean it's Brian, you goof. The things he's sending me, what is going on? Anyway, it's Friday. I know you guys are going to have a great weekend. Lots of things coming down the pike for Free America Radio Network. And you can be a part of this network's growth. So please consider, and I know how it is, folks. Please consider contributing whatever you can to Free America Radio Network. I do take PayPal and I do take Bitcoin. You can also advertise on this particular show. It's not going to kill your advertising budget. Just go to freeamericaradio.us, go to the sponsors page, check it out. And I would very much appreciate your support. And you can also stock up on your emergency food supplies. Go to freeamericaradio.us, top of the page or the middle of the page. There's a bar there as well. To click on those and get your emergency food supply. As much as you want. And you'll be helping out your family. And you'll be helping out Free America Radio Network as well. So, there you go. Now, last segment of the day, let's jump on over to the go-to site that I like, which is Drudge Report. Holy crap. Ebola fear hits D.C. Maryland scare. Hour-by-hour account of what happened as Thomas Duncan developed Ebola symptoms. He came to America to marry his girlfriend, by the way. That's why he was over here. Mishandling of patients prompts CDC alert to hospitals. CDC, we can't shut border. What? No. Yeah, we can. It's called constitutional militia. Hey, guys, get on down to the border. Shut it down. Obviously, the Border Patrol are inept. Go make your presence known. Bobby Jindal. I like that guy. Ban travel from Ebola nations. I give him a virtual high five right there. Jonathan Topaz over at Politico.com. Thank you, Jonathan. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal on Friday called on the Obama administration to impose travel ban on flights to the U.S. from countries with Ebola outbreaks. Quote, "We should stop accepting flights from countries that are Ebola-stricken," unquote, the Republican governor said in a statement. Quote, "President Obama said it was unlikely that Ebola would reach the U.S. Well, it has, and we need to protect our people. But the Obama administration keeps saying that they won't shut down flights. They instead say we should listen to the experts. In fact, they said it would be counterproductive to stop those flights. That statement defies logic." See, Brian, not everybody has common sense. This man has common sense. How exactly would stopping the entry of people potentially carrying the Ebola virus be counterproductive? This seems to be an obvious step to protect public health in the United States, unquote. I'll put that one up on the Free America Radio Facebook page, so you can go check that one out. I got an idea. How about shutting down flights from West Africa and shutting the damn border? How about if we do that? Oh my God, it's not politically correct. Shut the hell up. We need to save some people. Shut the border now. Hey, militias. I know there are some National Guard people that are against this government. How about defying some orders for once and work for the people, not for the corporations that run Washington, D.C.? Get together with your buddies in the militia and go down to the border and shut them. Shut them down. And if the Mexican government doesn't like him, if Peña Nieto doesn't like the fact that there's military at his border, screw him. Close the damn border. He can kiss my white ass. Yeah, I said it. What are you going to do about it? Huh? Hey, NSA, CIA, Mexican government. There's a big middle finger for you, you jackasses. Just pisses me off that people can't use common sense, Brian. Huh? Common sense. Where the hell did that go? Someone's being hurt in your neighborhood. How about going and saving them? Oh, but I don't want to get sued in case I hurt the person. What? I don't know. It's just... Let's go in this direction. That way I can calm down a bit. I'm just passionate about what I believe. That's all. I'm just passionate. Mary Thompson over at CNBC.com. Prescription for job growth. Medical coders in demand. Coders, you know, the codes that they use. Dealing with emergencies is nothing new to the healthcare industry, and while not life-threatening, a lack of skilled medical coders threatens to disrupt one of the critical elements at a hospital needs to stay up and running: insurance payments. Quote, right now there is a dramatic shortage of skilled workers in the market, so we have an opportunity to help a lot of our clients, unquote, said Tori Barnhouse, president of Trust HCS. The shortage is being driven primarily by the coming adoption of a new federally mandated coding standard. To help meet its clients' demands, Barnhouse said Trust HCS, a Springfield, Missouri-based health information services provider, plans to double its medical coding workforce over the next 12 to 18 months. The additional 300 coders it is looking to recruit, train, and supervise will be contracted out to do work for hospitals and doctors' offices. A coder's job is critical for two reasons. First, they translate all the details of a patient's record into codes used by insurance companies to determine how much they reimburse a doctor's office or hospital. Second, the codes, which adhere to an international standard, can be analyzed by healthcare providers to determine how effectively or not a certain ailment is being treated by a single doctor, a hospital in the U.S. or around the world. Yeah. Let me go ahead and put that on the Free America Radio Facebook page for y'all. Check that one out. Did I say y'all? I'm from California. Dude. Anyway. Dude, let's do some surfing. Alright. Anyway. Hey, I'm about ready to get out of here, folks. It's only a 2-hour show. I can have fun with you on Monday. Now, I want to direct your attention to Washington, D.C. Now, I know Brian Lang has talked about this in depth, the Organic Act of 1871. Folks, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Washington, D.C. is a city-state unto itself. It has its own military. It has its own banking system. It has everything it needs. And when that collapses, you and I in our states, we'll be fine. We'll be okay. But go check out the incorporation of Washington, D.C. Also, on Monday, I may get into some heavy-duty stuff, depending on what the news is about this Ebola outbreak, but I may get into some heavy-duty stuff. I might get into some of what Bob Brutus talks about over at crazywolfradio.net. I may get into some really, really, really deep stuff. I might. But you are going to have to tune in to find out. Okay, I know. People are sitting there looking at me going, oh, you tease, man. Well, yeah. No. There you go. Yeah, so if you want to help Free America Radio Network get to the next level, please do. I would very much appreciate that. So would the network. Here's something else. If you have a show on Spreaker or you have a show on your own network or whatever, I'll promo that sucker every day. But if you're selling something, that's advertisement, so shoot me an email. We'll talk about it. Or go to freeamericaradio.us and go to the sponsors page and go from there. It's interesting, folks. This whole roller coaster ride is very interesting. Okay? But think about when you stop. When this whole system finally collapses, because it can't go on forever, folks. Because we have debt that is pushing us down. We have a government that is so corrupt. We can't keep shoring up the cracks in this stupid government. Washington, D.C. You and I are the government. Washington, D.C. But we can, aside from staging a coup and having a rebellion against Washington, D.C. like they did back in the 1700s, I think we can do some things peacefully and make it happen. But even the Democratic Party, the executive head honcho old bastard, as Brian likes to call him, even his people in his own party are getting disgusted with him. I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Later, Gator, because I'm going to get out of here. But remember this, folks. Remember this. I come back Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, unless I have a podcast. And there's always something to pay attention to and use your common sense about. Assess the situation and then find a way to make something happen. Because there's always something to do to get up in the face of this government, of this Washington, D.C., of your city council, county, and all that, and tell them, no, you're not doing that. You know why? Real simple, folks. We, the people, have the power. We are America.